Hello guys, this is my third video on nature and purpose of business. In the previous video, we have discussed characteristics of business. Characteristics of business are little bit related to objectives of business. Objective are the goals that is there which is formed by every entrepreneur. So characteristics also include the basic features of business. So definitely whatever the characteristics are there, little bit the goals and objectives are similar and which is related to them as per the nature of business. So business objectives, as I have told you, objectives are the goals or the aim of any business. So first and foremost, we can categorize these objectives into two parts. Like I have mentioned over here, business objectives are categorized into economic objectives and social objectives. In economic activity, it includes earning profit. Definitely the foremost and the first objective of any business is to earn profit. So earning profit is the basic objective which is performed by everybody. Like it could be a producing unit, it could be services which is provided by some organization. The first motive is to earn profit. It is uncertain, but the intention is to earn profit. The next is market standing. What is market standing? Market standing is creating customers. Creating customers or satisfied customers. Creating satisfied customer. So what is market standing? If any organization, if a business that is established, the intention is to create more and more customers. And what kind of customers they want to create is satisfied customer. If the satisfied customers are there, then and they would be able to develop that, then the sustainability of a company increases for long term. If the consumer are not satisfied with that, if the consumers are not satisfied with the product of the company, with the features, whatever they are providing in a product to a consumer, if they are not satisfied with that, then the market standing is not possible. And without market standing, an individual and organization cannot earn profit. So market standing means, like I will give you one example. If I am talking about Apple. So everybody, Apple, if I am saying Apple is a mobile company which is launching, an American company which is launching a mobile phone, Android phone. So you have understood key through the product you will identify. And if I am talking about Microsoft, then everybody will say it is a software. If I am talking about Adidas, then everybody will recognize that Adidas is a sports shoe or a sports wear that is a produce or that is a product of a company. It means if we are identifying the product by the name itself, then it means you have made a research. Like consumer are also making a research, like which product is on the top, the product that number of consumers are satisfied by using those products. And if I want to purchase that product, I also prefer that product. For example, like we are talking about cars, then we are saying, like if you want to purchase a car, If anybody wants to purchase a car, he'll just search it out, find it out, how many kinds of cars are available that are launched, and what are the features, what are the mileage, and what is the after sale services. Lot of things that everybody will search it out, and taking the opinion of already those the customers that are using that product. So it means market standing is, if any company has developed their product market standing, then definitely there is a surety that the company's sustainability in the market will be for long time. So this is the second objective. The company has to establish their product in the market and making their own space in the market. Lot of other competitors are also there that are launching the same product, that are introducing the same product. That if you are talking about car only, then you have so many cars are there. Maruti is there, like Toyota is there, Ford is there, and many other, like Mercedes are there, Anna. So these are the numerous cars are there. Automobile industry, there are numerous cars, but everybody is purchasing a luxurious good. Then they have to think about what is the utility, what is the durability, what is the price, what are the features, and after doing so many research, they'll purchase a product. So the entrepreneur is maintaining a market standing through the product itself. Okay. Now, through the product, once you have made a market sustainability, means you have survived in the market for certain period of time, then it is not enough for an organization. Like once your consumers are satisfied, later on so many new competitors penetrate to the same market, and they have more ideas, better ideas than your product, better features than your product. It means after some interval of time, you have to modify your product. You have to modify your product or change your product, or you have to redefine your product, innovate your product, and that is very important part of any business. Like if you are introducing a product in a market, for after certain intervals, so many products enters in the same field, and for the survival of your product for a long time, you want a market standing for a long time in the market, then it is very essential that you have to innovate your product, redesign your product, modify your product as per the demand of customer. I'll give you one example. Initially, when computers were introduced, then you have seen in the pictures, a big monitor was there, a big huge body was also there. Then slowly sophisticated tools or the software that is introduced, and the bulkiness will be reduced into small pack. Like you are using right now mobile phone, it is also a computer. You are using a laptop, it is in a big, that huge computer will be converted into small pack. So it is easy to handle, it is easy to carry, it is easy to access so many things. Okay, so these are the efforts which is done by the experts in the present product, and that is called a changes or modification in the product, in the existing product, is called innovation. It could be some new product also. It doesn't, I'm not saying that existing product you have to modify, but some new product you could do that. I'll give you one more example. Like everybody has seen Nokia phone. That phone was initially introduced by the company. It is a QWERTY keypad phone, very durable, and consumers are very much satisfied with that phone. But what happened? Android phone entered in the market. Samsung, LG, Apple have introduced the Android phone in the market. But there is a misconception in the mind of Nokia company leaders. They were thinking that consumers are satisfied, there is no need to change the product. Whatever the product is there, in Indian market, it is sufficient for them. As Indians are always want a product that is very durable at less cost, and Nokia is giving the same. So there is an assumption in their mind like we'll survive in the market for long term. But what happened next? After some time, slowly the sale decreases. Now the Nokia will be out of the market. They have changed the idea and they have introduced Windows mobile, but it was very late step that is taken over by the leaders. So innovation is also an essential part that is to be introduced after a certain period of time, keeping in mind the demand of consumer, the features or the sophisticated product, the engineering or the machinery or the packaging should be modified by the entrepreneur for the survival of their product in the market for long time. And if the long time they are surviving in the market, then definitely they will earn more and more profit. So that is innovation. Optimum utilization of resources. Next is optimum utilization of resources. So what is optimum utilization of resources? Any product, if you want to produce anything, like I am taking an example of textile. So raw cotton that will be brought by the manufacturer, that is a primary occupation. You will get cotton, looms you will produce. Later on it will be converted into cloth. Then printing, dyeing, tying, everything will be done, polishing, and after that the cloth will be finally reduced. So these are the different stages that is to be followed by our textile industry. And in these processes, manpower is also required, machinery is also required, capital is also required, and definitely factory is also required. So all these things include in manufacturing of any product. If the product is manufactured, then sales and distribution, transportation, logistic, that all is required until and unless the product reaches in the hands of customers. If you are not utilizing these resources in a better way, like optimum utilization of resources, if you are not doing that, then the cost of production of your product will increase. And if your cost of production will increase, then the competitors will supply the product cheaper than your product, and you will not be able to earn profit. So it is in the hands of every entrepreneur that they have to identify the resources first, then the best use of resources, wastage should be reduced, standardized product should be produced, so that the product will be produced in a cheaper price. And if the product will be produced in a cheaper price, then you will be able to earn more and more profit. Next is improving productivity. Like you have produced something in the initially you have established the organization, lot of investment will be done, purchasing a land, building, machinery, capital investment, labor, establishing the organization structure, everything, planning, research and development, everything. You have done a great investment, huge investment. So initially the productivity which you are producing might be lower because you are initiator in the field, and whatever the articles you have produced, it is like a sample which you want to test your product, like if this product is beneficial, this entry is beneficial for me or not. And whenever you have launched the product in the market and everybody has accepted your product, you have gained some profit, later on you will increase your productivity. And slowly, anybody in any organization, whatever they have produced 10 or 20 years before, they might have increases their production. So whatever the production, like anybody is producing 100 article first year, then next year they'll produce 110. Okay, the next the coming further years they'll increase the productivity, and by increasing the productivity the profit will also increase. So for the growth of any organization, it is also essential that productivity of an individual, of a firm, of an organization should increase. Okay, so these are economic objectives which all the entrepreneurs, all the organization should have, and as per the nature they'll increase or decrease these objectives, but these are the major objectives that is followed or that is applied by all the organization. Now next is social objectives. Social objectives, like this society or the industry itself is taking the resources from the society, is utilizing the manpower from the society, is giving the output to the society. So it is the duty of any organization that they should do something for the society, definitely. So social objectives includes what? As per the nature of business, that varies, but the basic thing is they should, first thing is social responsibility of any entrepreneur is called social objective. First one is quality of goods and services at fair price. It means any organization, whatever the goods and services they are providing to the public, to the society, that will be of quality, and that will be at fair price. Otherwise the competitor will overlap you and you will be kicked out from the market. So it is your moral duty that you will supply the goods and services, quality goods and services to the society and at fair price. Next is avoidance of anti-social and unfair trade practices. Anti-social and unfair trade practices means anything which increase corruption in the society. Unfair trade practices means giving or defame somebody, like their product is not good and our product is good. That is unfair trade practices. Like putting fire to somebody's factories. These are unfair trade practices. Black marketing, like creating anything which is not permissible by law. So that is unfair trade practices. By unfair means if you are earning profit, then it is not permissible by law itself. Certain rules, a certain act were developed, and that is also not the social responsibility. Then another point is generation of employment. It means you are utilizing machinery and other things, but manpower is also required for any organization. They are utilizing the expertise of manpower, the potential of manpower, and through the potential of manpower they can produce something with the help of machinery also, but manpower is also required. So in any organization, as they are increasing their productivity, they are increasing their sales, so they require more, they'll generate more employment. In that way they are helping the society in generation of employment. Next is employee welfare. So employee welfare means कि those employees that are working in the organization, they should be satisfied with the policies of company. They'll provide some rest period to them, 8 hours, which is permissible by government. Like they have to work for 8 hours. They'll provide wherever the production will be done. They'll provide all safety measures. If they are working in hazardous area, then all the safety guards that is required, that should be provided to them. Leaves should be provided to them, like maternity leave, some kind of insurance that will be provided to them. So all these are included, like PF, Provident Fund, gratuity, some job security. These are included in employees welfare. So as employee is a blood of any organization, or you can say it is a spine of any organization. All the satisfied employees will raise the profit of an organization. They'll give an ideas, they'll do the work which is guided by the employer with full interest, with full potential, and in that way optimum utilization of resources will be possible. And through optimum utilization, the company will earn more profit. So employee welfare is also the social objective of any business. Apart from all these social objectives, community services is also a moral duty of any organization. If they are earning more profit, they should do something for the society, like schools, library, universities. They have set for the society. They'll set some research and development areas also. They'll do some charity also. These are the community services which these organizations are providing. Like Reliance, you have heard about Reliance. They are having schools, they are having libraries, they are having right now they are opening hospitals for COVID-19. They have devoted their hospitals. Tata Industries are doing so many things. Okay, so these are community services which is the duty of any organization. If they are earning good profit, they should do something for the upliftment of society. So these I have explained you economic objective and social objective of business. I think this video has been too large for you, but I have to cover the whole topic. That's why I have made this video in covered this topic in a single video. I hope you understood it. If you have any doubts related to it, you can WhatsApp me. Thank you.